of financial literacy is attitude. It's attitude of investors, attitude of the Muslims, the ethical investors towards halal finance. What are the beliefs? What are the values attached to finance? For example, the concept of savings. Some people believe that when I can die at any time, why should I waste my time, put some money somewhere in terms of savings? Why should I bother myself about investments when I know I may not live long? Some believe such, so their attitude towards finance may be negative. Some will even be quoting Quranic verses for us that Allah says, that is, some people are just gathering wealth, they are gathering money, and they are counting, saving it, accumulating wealth, when they know that as if the money will continue to live, or they will continue to live with the money. So some people, because of this, they will not want to save, they will not want to invest. So we have to orientate, we have to give them orientation, let them understand that we can save, we can invest, as long as our wealth can be built around halal sources of income. As we'll learn later with the life of these companions of the Prophet, how they were able to live, build their wealth, create more wealth, save and invest, and they still live fulfilled life. So those are the ones during whose life Quran was revealed. So they understand the verses of the Quran better than than us today. Yet they exhibit right attitude towards investment and financing. So we have to orientate our people on the right attitude towards finance. Then lastly, we have the behavior, that is the last dimension of financial literacy, which is the behavior of people when you have the knowledge, we are aware of what opportunity available in the market, you have the right attitude, then how do you act or react to spending, investing, even consumption actions? So when you make right attitude, or you act in the right way to give to save some part of your income, you save some part of your income, and then when the surplus comes, you invest. And that is the essence of savings. When you save today, tomorrow you can earn more. So in such case, when someone has the knowledge of this aspect or the dimension of financial literacy, we say such a person is well equipped on financial education or the skills that are needed to identify the investment opportunities, finance opportunities in the market for him or her to live in halal way, make his earnings in halal ways, live his life in halal ways, and build his wealth in halal ways. Now, as Muslims, we need to realize that the concept of financial literacy we are talking about is not just the general financial literacy about understanding the basic principles of finance, the issue with money, and then you invest. People invest and they make financial decisions. They say they are informed, yet they invest in haram investment opportunities, like investing in treasury bills, among others. They generate income through interest. They give money to the bank, saves with the bank, yet they earn little or no income on it. Even when they earn interest on the money being saved with the bank, they are still interest-based, which is riba. And you know, this bank, they are not interested about your religion or whether you want something ethical or not. They can invest your money in any industry. and which might not even be compliant with Islamic Sharia. So Muslims need to understand the basic of Islamic financial principle literacy in line with the Sharia of Islam. We should know that one major objective of Sharia is to protect our wealth, protect our life, property, and wealth. In order to protect the wealth of an individual of the community, it is important that these wealth are well managed. The resources, the wealth that we are accumulating must be well managed. And for us to be able to manage the wealth efficiently, then we need the knowledge. We need to be educated. We need the skills about Islamic Sharia. We need to be educated about Islamic Sharia and how we can protect our wealth through financial education. So in such case, we understand that Muslims need to be financially literate. And when we are talking about financial literacy here, we are not talking about reading some books. You know, today many Muslims learn about financial literacy. They obtain financial education, acquire financial education from non-Muslims. Some will read the books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or Poor Dad, Rich Dad, written by a non-Muslim who does not even know anything about the Sharia provisions. So how can such people be our model, our guide, when we have the early Muslims, right from the Prophet, from the time of Prophet ﷺ and his companion? We have models that we can follow their path in ways to build our wealth and overcome financial challenges. So in that case, we look at how Quran, that is the book that Allah revealed to all Muslims as a way of life and guidance for us to follow so that we can be successful in this life and hereafter. What is the Quran? How does Quran portray financial literacy? That is the importance placed by the Quran on financial literacy, that is financial education, how Muslims will acquire financial knowledge so that they can make informed decisions in the market. So what does Quran have to say about this? In the Quran, the longest verse in the Quran, that is Quran 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 282, that is the longest verse in the Quran, talked and emphasized the principle of financial literacy in the area of documentation of debt contracts, obligations between parties. That is, when lending arrangement is being contracted, Quran says we should document it so that there will be transparency, accountability, fairness in our dealings. So in that case, Allah places emphasis on financial literacy for the Muslims. Apart from this, in Surah Al-Mutaffifin, Allah talk about how emphasizes the issue of fair dealing when he says we should not participate in cheating, unfair measures when we are selling goods and services. So these are issues that are outlined in the Quran in relation to financial literacy. Also, on the distribution of wealth, Allah talk about zakat. Zakat in Quran 2, verse 277, it talk about the obligation and institutionalization of zakat, and also in Quran 9, verse 60, Allah talk about those that are entitled to the collection of zakat, so that a social responsibility can be discharged to people in the community. In this way, wealth will be built, wealth will be created, and financial challenges will be overcome when we follow the teachings of Quran on financial literacy. People will be more informed. They will be more. They will have higher level of awareness in terms of the happenings in the financial market, especially in halal ways. So apart from the teachings of the Quran, we can look at the seerah of the Prophet and his companions, how they relate with wealth creation, how they confront with financial challenges, and how they were able to overcome the challenges, and how they were able to alleviate poverty in the community during their lifetime. So these are our models that we have to learn, we must learn from them. Among the companions of the Prophet, we have one of the wealthiest and the noble companion, Abdurrahman ibn Auf, is one of the wealthiest companions of the Prophet. What are the secrets to his wealth building? How when the Prophet migrated to Medina from Mecca, the companions also migrated. When the Prophet migrated, some of the companions also migrated with them. And when leaving Mecca, they were not able, or they were not allowed to carry any of their wealth, any of their property. They were not allowed to go with them. So they left them behind. One of these companions that could not bring any of his wealth to Medina when coming from Mecca was Abdurrahman ibn Auf. You know, Allah says in the Quran that Allah says some of these companions that migrated from Mecca to Medina, الذين أخرجوا من ديارهم وأموالهم يبتغون فضلا من الله ورضوانا. Those that were chased out of their houses, they were chased out of their wealth, that they could not bring anything when they went to Medina. So one of those that Allah was referring to in the Quran was Abdurrahman ibn Auf. So when Abraham arrived at Medina, you know, the practice that the Prophet established then was to pair the companions. That is, one from the Muhajirun and one from the Ansar. The Prophet would pair them together in brotherhood. They should be living together, share their properties. That is, those Ansar, we have to share the properties, their wealth, even the wives, to the Muhajirin. So the Sahaba that was paired, the companion that was paired with Abdurrahman ibn Auf, distributed his wealth, even asked Abraham to select from his wives anyone among them that is pleasing to him. But Abdurrahman refused politely, and he just asked this companion, his brother, to show him the way to the market so that he can start doing something. He prayed for the companion that Allah will put barakah in his wealth, in his family, but let me go to the market, show me the way to the market. That is, teach me how to catch fish. Don't stop giving me fish. That is what Abdurrahman was trying to say. So from the little that Abraham was able to gather, he started trading. He started on a small scale, and he was making little profit. He would invest whatever profit he made. Then that's how he started growing his wealth. So we have highlighted certain secrets for the growth of wealth of Abdurrahman ibn Auf, one of our role models in Islam when it comes to wealth creation. We have the first one, entrepreneurial spirit and risk-taking. Here we can see that Abdurrahman refused to take whatever the friend was offering to him. Rather, he believed in himself that he can actually do something. You can actually create market yourself. You can actually ideas, whatever you have, that entrepreneurial spirit to be there. Then that's what Abdurrahman bin Auf did. And he didn't fold his arm by saying he will be asking from his friend from time to time. He went to the market. You know, when you are taking decisions, you have to take some risk. Decisions are bound to be taken with risk and some level of uncertainty. So when you are asked to invest or make decisions that are not risky, that they are saying, give us money, we'll give you this amount of money, and there is no any risk there. Any risk-free opportunity is bound to be un-Islamic. Why? Because in Islamic, the principle of Islamic finance is that there will be a risk to be shared when profit is to be shared. So Abraham bin Auf was able to start his business. Then he took risk and Allah blessed his effort. Another point that we have to note here is self-reliance of Abdurrahman bin Auf. He refused to collect the wealth from the wealth of his friend, his brother. He said, show me the market. That means he relies on his capability rather than depending on his brother. Some people will prefer to be asking. When they ask them, what is your problem? They will be saying, just give me money, give me money, give me money. But when you are telling them that identify the problem or something you can do so that will give you some money to start, they will collect the money, spend it, and still come back tomorrow to be asking. So Abraham bin Auf did not do any of this because he relied on his capability over dependence on anybody. So apart from this, when Abraham got to the market, he started on a small scale, but he ensured that he practiced what we call ethical financing. That is, he was so transparent, he didn't involve in any unethical dealings. He will inspect the goods himself for quality. If he discovered that there is any form of defect on the goods, he will mark it as of low quality and reduce the price. So he involved or engaged in fair trading and fair pricing. So he was so transparent and people trusted him. And that's how he was able to attract more customers and build his wealth. Then there is a diversification. He didn't put all his wealth when he made profit and reinvest. He didn't reinvest or make investment on just one asset or one trade. He tried to diversify. It was reported that he engaged in livestock, he engaged in trading, even in real estate, among others. So that's how he was able to build his wealth in a halal way, having conscious of halal in mind. Whenever we are conscious of Allah, Allah says, وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Whoever fears Allah in his dealings, Allah will always show him the way. So if you are trying to create halal ways, let us imbibe the culture of fearing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then lastly, social responsibility and gratitude. Abdurrahman bin Auf, whenever he makes profit, he will distribute part of his profit to people. He will give some people interest-free loan so that they can also start something to do. So if we give them loan, if they are not able to pay back, he will leave them. Sometimes he will even go to the extent of repaying some of people's debt. So he's doing this on a social responsibility. So we can also imbibe this culture when we make efforts and Allah blesses our efforts. Let us appreciate God by sharing some of our wealthy people. Let us also encourage them to start from somewhere, but let us give them the necessary information on how to do it in a halal way. So Abdurrahman involved or engaged in social responsibility, and he always show gratitude whenever blessed is trade. Whenever Allah blesses his trade, he will show gratitude by giving people. Sometimes they said he will even cook food, distribute food whenever he make a profit on his trading. So this is Abdurrahman ibn Auf, one of the wealthiest companions of the Prophet that we should learn from as Muslims, rather than learning from TikTok, from Facebook, from non-Muslims that know nothing about Islamic financial transaction, Islamic principle of Sharia regarding halal investment and finance. Now, we have been talking about financial literacy and creating of wealth in a halal way. What then is halal finance? What then is halal investment? What do we mean by halal finance? What do we mean by halal investment? Halal finance means all those financial activities that are compliant with Sharia. That is, those transactions are free from riba, no collection of interest or taking of interest, which is riba, no gharar, that is, there should be no ambiguities, all material facts will be disclosed in the transactions, no ambiguity, no excessive uncertainties. Then there should be no maisir, that is, no gambling, speculation. So all speculative activities are non-compliant in terms of finance in Islamic way. So in that case, anything involve gambling and speculation are not allowed, should not cover all this. So anybody that will want to invest should not where we have to involve or invest in derivatives. So investing in derivatives is not allowed because of the maisir, that is the element of gambling or speculation that is there. Then apart from this, financial transactions should be free of haram industries or haram products, that is industry promoting haram activities, maybe pornography, selling of porks, alcohol, and some other things that are not halal. Then we cannot take that as a halal finance. We can't make investment there and say such investment is halal. For example, using conventional bank, when people are offering shares to the public that we should invest in shares, and we now look at the prospectus, we discover that this is from a conventional bank. That is, the offer for shares, subscription is from conventional banks. We cannot invest in such shares. Why? Because the main source of income for the bank, the main business of bank is interest, and interest is riba, which is haram. So we cannot invest in such. Some people can call us that we should come and be distributing grains like cassava, like maize. We join together and we start distributing and making profit, making money out of it. But the moment they said this cassava or the maize are being delivered to companies using them to produce alcohol, then the business we are doing will also become haram. So we have to note this, and our people should be well informed about all this, so that we can say, or we can be rest assured that when we make investment following these principles, our investment or financing will be halal. So, for example, we can invest in sukuk, we can invest in real estate and some other Islamic mutual funds that we know, following some platform that are Sharia compliant. Then if you cannot do it by yourself, you can look for platforms and applications that you can use, like Cowrywise, that is Sharia compliant. They ensure that your fund are in safe hand, and then you make investments in compliance with Sharia principles. So what are the principles of halal investment? We have discussed what halal investment is and why is it halal, and anything that contradicts that will make it not halal. The first one of the major principles of halal investment is that the returns are asset-backed. Asset-backed returns. That is, when we make investments in halal way, it is not that money that we put somewhere. The return is not on the money. Rather, the return is on the asset financed by that money. I believe you are following me in this little analysis I'm doing. That is, if we release our money as investment, 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira, it is not that 1,000, where will the business or the asset that we invest on, or the company will put our money on, we now promise that on that 1,000, by month end, you receive 10% on 1,000 or 20% on 2,000. This is, if it's like this, it is not asset backed, rather it is interest-based financing or interest-based investment. In such case, we cannot call it halal investment, but it will be asset backed in the sense that it is what we use our money to finance, to what we put our money on as investment. That asset that we put our money on is the one that will bring the return to us, so that the return cannot be tagged or tied to the money we invest there, but to the profit made from, or the profit generated by using the asset. So in such case, financial principles or principles of halal finance, one major principle there is asset-backed returns. That is, the returns are asset-backed. Money is used to finance some assets. The money invested is being used to finance some asset that will generate return for us, not that the money itself will be used to generate a return. What I'm saying is, when you lend money out and you collect some interest on it, that is, you are making money from money. That one is not allowed, but you can make money with money by investing in assets that will generate income. Then the risk and profit sharing. Risk and profit sharing is another principle of halal finance. That is, the risk will be shared so that when the profit comes, it will also be shared. When there is no profit, there is nothing to be shared. So we share the risk, we share the profit. For example, someone that bought a Okada, a machine for someone, and you now say you will be delivered, or you'll be delivering 20,000, 4,000, 3,000 every day. What will happen in a day when the person rides the machine and it didn't make up to 3,000 that you requested for? That means that person will have to find a way of giving you what you demanded. And sometimes when he makes more than that, he will keep the money and just give you what you demanded. So this one is not risk sharing and profit sharing. You can actually agree that when I give you the machine to be using it to make money, carry people, whatever you are able to get at the end of the day, if it is 5,000, yes, I as the owner, I'll collect 3,000, you take 2,000. That one is agreed. It's halal. It's allowed. But now putting that agreement that every day you must be giving me 5,000, that means you are not ready to take any risk. That is, the risk of not making up to that. If what you get is just 1,000 for in a day, or it doesn't even come home with anything, that means you still have to you still want to collect what you have agreed upon. It means you are not prepared to take risk. So the profits will not also be shared. When you are not prepared to share from the risk, then such investment cannot be halal investment. So apart from this, we still have the ethical screening. Here, what we are trying to say is that the investment opportunities that we want to put our money on, we need to screen them to identify which one is not allowed, which one is Sharia compliant, which one is not Sharia compliant. So you screen them for riba. If we have some that are riba based, we screen them out. We have opportunity that are gharar, that has a gharar element in, we'll screen them out. So all those basic principles of Sharia, the prohibitions that Sharia say we should avoid, then we have to screen them out of all investment opportunities before we make a decision, or because we conclude that one opportunity is halal or not. So while we are making investments, or we are making halal investment, halal financing, we are trying to educate ourselves about how we can overcome poverty, how we can live to create wealth, build our wealth, and overcome poverty personally and in the society at large. So we can actually look at the models of the Prophet ﷺ, what model was followed, or the model instituted by the Prophet during his time and the lifetime of the companions. The Prophet was able to reduce poverty in the community. He was able to create an environment where investment thrives, where people were able to build wealth. People like Abraham bin Auf, like Uthman bin Affan, and some other among the companions, even those of them that were poor at the beginning, like Abu Hurairah. Abu Hurairah was later became rich, so that such that he had enough to take care of himself and his family. We have one of the companions who that had money, had enough, that even wanted to use all his wealth to as charity, and the Prophet prohibited that no, you should not do that. You can only take 1/3 of whatever you have as charity. Try to keep some for your family. And this is even one of evidence that we can use to support ourselves that we should save, we should invest against the future. So the Prophet, one of the models that the Prophet used to overcome poverty, to tackle poverty in the community, was to encourage people to work and be self-reliant, as we have in the case of Abdurrahman bin Auf. People should work rather than begging. So Islam discourages begging. People should be begging around when they can actually work. Let us try and find work for them. Then they should be self-reliant. When they work, they were able to realize some money. They will be able to save. They'll be able to make investment in a halal way and take care of their family. So that's one of the ways that the Prophet used to tackle poverty in the community. Another one is promote brotherhood and wealth sharing. The Prophet joined the Sahaba, the companions, the Muhajirun and Ansar together in brotherhood and asked them to be sharing their wealth among themselves. So they do that. Today, we can also try to imbibe this. If you have friends, we have family members that are still struggling and we have enough, we have surplus, we can actually give them some of this. Let us encourage them to start something. Give them some of our wealth, some of the surplus that we do, we can do it as charity for them. Whatever you give to your family members, your friend, it will create harmony, it will increase the love, then it will serve as a way of empowering them. If you are the only one that is doing well in the family and others are struggling, you will not also have peace of mind. They will be disturbing you. But encourage them, empower them so that they can also become givers. They can also have opportunity to invest in halal ways and promote wealth creation and poverty reduction in the society. So this is another model that the Prophet used to overcome poverty during his time. Another one is a installation of zakat and waqf. The Prophet followed the guidance of the Quran, and the Prophet collected zakat from the rich and distribute to the poor and those that Allah has already identified as those that are entitled to zakat collection, that are the beneficiary of a zakat. Apart from this, there is a concept that is the endowment. We can create a fund as endowment. Whatever we are putting in this endowment fund, we can actually find ways to invest them. If you have people that have money, we encourage them to create endowment fund. This will serve as a what do you call it? Zarakatu Jariya for them. Even when they are no longer there, they can create some fund, and we have people that can manage those funds, invest the money there in halal ways to generate more income in halal ways. Then we can now use whatever we have in this fund to empower people, to improve the welfare of people in the community so that they can also overcome the poverty. So apart from this, we can identify some Islamic financial instruments, contracts that we can actually involve in, put the money in, such as a mudaroba, that is equity financing. If you have money, though you cannot give it, the money you also need the money, or you have someone that has idea or doesn't have money, but you have money, and you have money, but the idea is not there, or you even have idea, but you don't have time. Then you can set up the person, finance whatever he wants. So that will represent an investment in another way for you. Then you now agree on the sharing formula in terms of the profit. When the profit comes, maybe 60, 40, 70, 30, you can now agree this is mudaroba. That is equity finance. You finance someone to start up or to finance his business, then you will now be sharing profit. Then there is a musharaka, that is the partnership. You can join hands together, contribute fund, and do business. It can be partnership, it can be joint venture, that you just buy some things and share it. You buy something, sell it, then share the profit. So all these are ways by which we can actually overcome poverty in our land. They are halal investment ways, they are halal investment methods. If we cannot do this by ourselves, today we have modern applications like Kaori Wise that we can put the little that we have there to help us to make investment decisions. Then we'll get our profit in halal, our income in halal ways. Then halal ways to financial independence. If you want to be financially independent, that is, stop relying on others. Whatever you want to make, the little they are earning, try to invest them, make your profit in halal ways, then you'll be financially independent. What are the ways? One is that you should ensure that your earnings come through halal means. Whatever you earn, let it come through halal means. Don't engage in haram transactions. Restrict your earnings to halal means. During the life of the Prophet, the wives of the Sahaba will be talking to their husband whenever they are going out. They were going out, that as you are going out now, fear Allah. ensure that whatever you are bringing to us are from halal. Unfortunately, today, women are not learning from the companions, the women among the companions. They are not learning from them. Some women will not even bother about what means, where, how the risk, the provisions of their husband are coming. How are the husband are able to get whatever they are bringing into them just to collect, get it, with even supporting the husband in a way that will restrict his earnings to only halal means. These are what our pious predecessors, the women around the compound, around the messengers of Allah were doing with their husband. We ensure that the husband, the earnings, whatever they bring in, are from halal means. So if you want to be financially independent, you have to ensure that you earn through halal means. So when you earn through halal means, you save through halal means. When you invest through halal to halal means, to halal source of investment opportunity so that you can get halal income. So when you do this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put barakah in your wealth, will put barakah in whatever you earn, and you will be able to save, you'll be able to live modestly, you'll be able to even live comfortably. So by the time you leave the surface of the earth, you will be welcomed with goodness. So we should all strive to ensure that what we earn comes through halal. Then the number two of the ways that we can build financial independence is to budget. This requires high level or some level of financial literacy, financial education. We should encourage our people to budget their spending. We plan. You don't just spend whatever you have today. Sometimes, especially those that are doing handiwork, some people, they will, for some days, they may not get money, they may not get anything. But one day, one business can just come, they have more than enough. Instead of them to save part against some other days, they will spend, since they have not been able to earn and they have not been able to spend in the past few days, they will now spend everything together. Now, this is not a way to financial independence. We have to budget our earnings in terms of spending, in terms of what we earn, so that anytime when we know that in the future it's possible that sometimes we will not be able to get something, we'll budget today, and then we'll try to determine how we are going to cover for those period of deficit. So whenever we now have or we predict some level of surplus, we also budget on how we can invest them in halal ways to earn more profit. Then we should try to save, we should try to live modestly, no extravagant life. Muslim must recognize the fact that Allah prohibits living extravagantly. Even when you have more, live modestly and make sure you invest in halal ways. Then you grow, that is, make your investment through halal opportunities. If you keep your money at home, this money will not yield anything. We always say that any money that you keep in cash, as raw cash at home, or you keep them in bank, they are just there. The money that you keep with the bank will earn little or nothing, and you'll be paying bank charges from time to time. But what you are, well, the little money you have been able to accumulate, you have been able to have to put somewhere, then try and invest them in halal ways. Reach out to people that can guide you. Reach out to platforms like Cowrywise. They will guide you, provide you the guidance, and even help you to make your investment. Then you'll be able to grow your wealth in a halal way. Then, now that you have been able to have some wealth, you have been able to accumulate some wealth, then you need to protect the wealth. If your wealth reaches the level of zakat, that is the nisab of zakat, you have to pay zakat. By paying zakat, you provide your wealth and you protect your wealth against calamity, because Allah can bring trial at any time, can bring fitna at any time to a wealth that is not, that zakat is due but not paid out of it. So Allah can actually bring fitna to such wealth. So we have to protect our wealth through zakat when it reaches that level. Then we have a takaful, that is the cooperative insurance. This is not conventional, non-conventional, is not like conventional insurance that some people will just collect our money. They said we should buy policy, you'll be paying premium. If anything happens before the end of the period or before the end of the time, for certain time as agreed, then they will compensate you. If nothing happens, your money has gone like that. Your money will go and there's no compensation for you if nothing happens to you. This is a form of is a gambling. It has gharar. It has some issues that are not Sharia compliant. So we recommend that people should go through takaful, cooperative insurance, that is, who contribute, and if anything happens to one of us, that is the basis, then we use part of it to uplift such person from the calamity. Then if nothing happens, at the end of the day, we can now decide on what to use our money for, whether we should share the profit, we should invest it somewhere and share the profit, or we should share the money. So today, we have modern financial and investment platform, otherwise that can actually advise us and take us through how we can protect our wealth through takaful insurance. We have been talking about halal investment, and I mentioned the platform of Cowrywise. This is a fintech platform that has, or that is dealing with Sharia compliant opportunities. You save in a manner that is halal, that comply with Sharia. Operate halal account that avoid riba. When you are to invest, they'll help you to invest in Sharia compliant opportunities, funds. If you visit them, visit their website, visit their contacts, then they'll be able to guide you on how you will be able to invest your money in Sharia compliant opportunities. Then don't doubt them that whether your money that you put there will go to waste, or someone will just take your money and run away. This is not MMM. This is not MMM that some people contribute and later the platform crashes and everything went like that. No, they partners with experienced fund manager like Lotus Capital and some other ones, and they are doing fine and well. So we should partner with them, we should engage them, we should involve them whenever we need to make investments in halal ways. What are the benefits when we invest, or when we go to Cowrywise for financing and investment? What are the benefits for us? There is faith compliant, that is Sharia compliance opportunities that we can get by going to them, by involving in Cowrywise investment platform. We will be assured that our money, our investment opportunity that we want to put the money on are Sharia compliant and ethical. No interest, no gharar, no mesir, no ribas. All those things will have been screened out, and then your wealth will be invested in halal ways or in halal investment opportunities. Then it is accessible. You can start with little. It's not that you require millions before you can invest. No, the little you have, you can start. invest with them today and you laugh later. So apart from this, they have provisions for diversification. That is, it's not just one product that they invest on. Once you reach out to them, you can diversify your investment portfolios on different products, different financial instruments that are Sharia compliant. Then their operation, their mode of operation, everything is transparent. Visit the website, you see that they publish daily updates on everything they do. Then lastly, there is liquidity. That is, if you don't want to wait till maturity of certain things, you can actually dispose, take your money. So there is ease of entry and ease of exit. So these are some of the benefits that an individual investor, an ethical investor, as Muslims that we should be ethical investors, that we can earn by patronizing application or platform like Cowrywise, halal investment opportunities. So having gone through all the slides and presentation, we have to conclude here that for us to be able to create wealth, to meet financial challenges and build our wealth, we need Islamic financial literacy. That is financial knowledge, skills about the principle of Islamic finance and investment and how to go about it. So thank God today, we have platforms like Cowrywise that are practically available, that are available as a large platform that we can meet, we can do our halal investment with them and be rest assured that our income will be from halal means. So with this, if you can follow the guidance, you can follow the lessons that we have learned from this, we'll be able to create our wealth, empower ourselves, fight the poverty in the community, in our families, and we'll be able to live well and meet our God in good faith. So this is all I have for you. Thank you for listening. If you have any question, you can ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that amazing lecture, Jazakumullah khairan. I want to believe that everyone on the call must have enjoyed every bit of the session. Thank you once again. To members on the call, I will give opportunity for us to ask questions. For those of us who might want to simply say our questions out, we'll give you time for you to do that. And for those of us who prefer to those are like, we don't really like stress. It's about body, it's about what is mudar, about every other. We just want a trusted platform for where we can put our money, they help us invest in halal products, and at some point we get a return on investment. I will be inviting Basra Tadibi. She is an investment professional at Cowrywise Financial Technology Limited. She holds a degree in Information and Communication Science from the University of Ilorin and is currently pursuing a CFA certification. She began her career as a banking officer before transitioning to Cowrywise, where she initially worked as a product specialist and later as a customer experience team lead. Currently, she is a senior investment analyst and plays a pivotal role in the portfolio management team, focusing on financial and investment analysis, portfolio management, research, and product development. Basirat manages funds for individuals, high net worth individuals, and businesses, contributing to Cowrywise growth in the financial services industry in Nigeria. In the next few minutes, she'll be taking us through what Cowrywise really is and how to help Muslims manage their financial assets for us to be able to get good return on investment in halal way. But so that you have the mic, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that amazing lecture, Jazakumullah khairan. I want to believe that everyone on the call must have enjoyed every bit of the session. Thank you. To members on the call, I will give opportunity for us to ask questions. For those of us who might want to simply say our questions out, we'll give you time for you to do that. And for those of us who prefer to
Basra, in case you're speaking, we can't hear you yet. Your mic is still muted.
Okay, Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Walaikum salam.
Okay. I was trying to unmute myself, but I was having a bit of difficulty. Okay. Thank you so much for thank you so much, Dr. Labdorazak. It was really very interesting. I learned a lot, despite being in the system, but I still learned a lot. Jazakumullah khairan. Okay, so my name is Basirat Adebi, as mentioned earlier. So I work with CarryWise in a portfolio management team. So what we basically do is help individuals, investors to manage their wealth so that they can grow in a risk-adjusted manner. So all of the, analysis are being done by us rigorously to ensure that whatever investment options that you have on CarryWise, they are Sharia compliant. Okay. So CarryWise Financial Technology is a wealth management firm. We started in 2016, but then we fully launched in 2017. And so far, we've been managing funds for millions of users, over a million of users, alhamdulillah. So our aim is to focus on digital first wealth, because before now, the traditional way of investing is you have to go to like an office, fill rigorous forms, and then you still have to go back to get like your statement. Everything was quite manual. So we changed the game by making it very digital. From the comfort of your home, you can view all of your investment portfolio at a glance. Okay. So our lecturer had mentioned a number of things, so I don't reiterate what he has mentioned. He talked about different halal investment instruments. There are various types, and at CarryWise we recognize that individuals that might not be financial savvy. They might not have the time to even say, okay, what does this investment look like? What are the fundamentals? So that's where CarryWise come in, because we have currently what we call mutual funds. So mutual fund is like a collective investment scheme, such that we want to take part in an investment and it costs, say, 10 million to enter. Like the minimum investment amount is 10 million. But then all of us on this call, we decided to just pull our funds together. I bring in 50,000, Dr. Rashid brings in 20,000, and every other person, and it completes 10 million. And then we go to a fund manager, a halal Sharia compliant fund manager, to say, I have this 10 million. Please help. We have this 10 million rather. Please help us to invest it in a safe manner. Look at all the fundamentals. And then, when it's time for us to get returns, this will be distributed based on how much we have invested. Since I have invested 50,000, I will get my returns based on the 50,000 that I have invested. So halal mutual funds just takes off all the stress of, understanding all the nuances and following up with macroeconomics, what's happening in the market, or which investment should I do now. So all of those burdens are being taken away. So there are expert management on this halal mutual funds, and then diversification is at play here. Like all of the investment types, halal investment types, sukuk, ijara, a mix of them forms one mutual funds, depending on the type of the fund, right? So and that way you're able to earn a better returns. Like if one asset type is not doing so well, the other ones would sort of balance it, because it's like investing in different sectors in Nigeria, for instance. Say the telecoms is doing well right now, it will go up. But if other sectors, maybe food, is going down, there's a balance there because you're diversifying your investment. And like I said earlier, it's very convenient. You can access it on your phone anytime, and then the minimum amount, like our lecturer has mentioned, is 1,000. You can do way more than that. And then we advise you properly based on your risk profile. So what does that mean? Sharia compliance, as lecturer mentioned, they are assets based. So this means that you're buying or you're investing an ownership in an already existing business or a new business. So they are not, you can't say, oh, I won't be able to lose money, or there's no risk here at all, because naturally there should be, profit sharing and then, loss sharing. So, but then there's a mix of some that are more balanced than the other. So there's the moderate type, and then there's the more aggressive type that invests in stocks or Sharia compliant stocks on NGX. Okay, so currently we've we did a very smart thing. We partner with about 6 halal mutual fund managers. So on my screen here, you would see that, there are names such as, ARM Ethical Fund. These are already existing fund managers that have created a halal portfolio, a halal mutual fund that they are managing, but they have different types of way they are managing it and the components. So for ARM Ethical Fund, they look at, real estate, Sharia compliant equities, and then, put into it. And then, the returns they earn from, beginning of the year would be recorded and it will be shown on the app. However, on a day-to-day basis, you will notice that, oh, there's a drop or there's an increment. But nonetheless, don't be scared of that. It's just market reality that is at play right there. There's also Mabo. Mabo is also a fund manager, and all of these fund managers, by the way, they are all licensed by Securities Exchange Commission. So the Securities Exchange Commission regulates and then supervises all fund managers in Nigeria, and also they have Sharia compliance as well on all of this fund. So for Mabo Halal commodities, these are, tradable. Cocoa is tradable, maize is tradable. There are other things embedded as well. It could be mineral resources that are really tradable. Those ones can be quite volatile, but then, it just makes it's a good diversification mix for an investment. There's also Stanbic, so they have a Sharia fixed income fund. On the screen, it shows that, they have short-term instruments, which are usually Ijara, Murabaha, which is cost plus financing, that different instrument on the line. And also Lotus Halal, they have 2 different, investment on carrier-wise. One of it is more aggressive, the other one is quite stable. So on the app, you would see it, but because of time, I'll try to rush this so that I can give you a live demo of how it typically works. The other product that we also offer, aside from the halal funds, halal mutual funds, there is stocks. I know a number of people might not, have an idea of, oh, what do I look for when I'm investing in stocks? And are all stocks Sharia compliant? Not all stocks are Sharia compliant, but there are some companies that have Sharia. They have, in fact, Sharia halal certificates. And when you go on the NGX, there's an index called Lotus Halal Index. So this has about, I think, 11 to 12 companies that have gone rigorous screening by Sharia advisors before a halal certificate has been given to them. When you go there, you see some of them are BUA Cement. You would also see Dangote. I think Dangote Cement is also there. There is MTN and the likes. So before investing in all of these stocks, although they have halal certificate, you also need to say, oh, I'm currently using MTN, and MTN has been doing well so far. I also think, they made new plans, new strategies, and I believe that, or I just have the opinion that they are likely to do well in the nearest future. So there's potential for their, for when you invest, for your shares to grow in MTN, for instance. So you could, take that, you could invest in stocks through CarryWise. So for high net individuals, these are individuals that, oh, they've been saving, they've been building their wealth over time, and oh, I have substantial money, say 50 million or 10 million, and I want to, what are the other instruments that you have for me? So we usually have some structured notes called Mudaraba notes, where we have also partnered with other fund managers, other investment managers as well, to get like a structured note. So if there are any high net individuals, you can always reach out. We would, create something structured for you. And the interesting thing is everything is available for you on our website and the app, which I would demonstrate. I'll show you that shortly. So I've been mentioning mutual funds. I know someone might be confused, sort of, oh, how would this work? So I did a small breakdown, just to say an example. For instance, you have 100,000 and then you want to invest in maybe Lotus Halal fixed income, for instance. And at the point of purchase or investing, you see that, oh, it is 1,000 naira per unit. So that means if I invest 100,000, I'm going to get 100 units. So as it keeps growing on a daily, because you see the growth on a daily, you would see that, okay, it got to a time, oh, it's at 1,200 per unit. This will also reflect in your value because 1,200 naira per unit times 100 naira, 100 units that you already have would increase to 120,000. So this means that you've gained 20,000 so far. That's how wealth building, works. You just see the growth gradually. So some of these halal fund managers, what they do is they could say, okay, I don't want Dr. Rashid has invested in this fund to withdraw his money because he might just withdraw it, but he's tempted to just spend it. So what I'll do is I'll be giving him quarterly return. So the 20,000 that he has earned, I'm going to pay it into his bank or maybe his cash wallet, or he can reinvest it if he wants. So that way, as you're investing, the return you're getting from your investment, you are just, making use of that. Okay, since I'm investing, let me just be using my quarterly dividends because I know Lotus Halal, fixed income, they usually pay quarterly returns. Other fund managers too also have their own time of paying returns as well, right? So on the app you would definitely see all of this, and also on the website. So we also have for businesses, what I talked about is the platform for individuals. For a business owner, I have 50 million naira idle in my bank, but it's not doing anything. So I'm like, okay, I'm a business owner and I need this cash in the near time, but I don't need it right now. Maybe I need this in 3 months or 6 months because I'm currently, we want to expand. We also have that options. You could create an account. It's called Sprouts, and then you'd would provide you with some halal mutual funds that I've mentioned. You'd see there, and we also have some structured notes for businesses as well. So one might think that, oh, why would a business owner be putting money? It is actually very good. You know how you make from your core revenue, I'm selling drinks, and my main revenue, primary driver of my revenue is selling drinks. But you can also make other income by, okay, your spare cash, you don't leave them idle, but you're investing. So this will give you other income for your business, and at the end of the day, your bottom line will, your net profits at the end of the day would be growing, which is very good because your investors investing in your companies, these are the things that they will look at. Okay, I can see, oh, this business is actually doing well. They're very smart. They don't just leave cash, they're, making a good, use of the funds. And also as a business owner, you know that, okay, I don't need this money now. If I leave it idle today, I'm saying I'm using it to stock up on inventory. But in the areas, I can see that, oh, because of inflation, because of, cost of things, I'm going to get less with the same amount. So that's why it's actually very important to, invest your idle cash. So on carry wise, it is secured. Why is it secured in terms of like your funds? When you make an investment, the instrument, it doesn't stay with us. We don't keep it in our bank account. We don't keep it idle. We make the investment into the underlying asset, but then the asset sits with our custodian. It's a third party intermediary that ensures that this money that this customer has invested, where exactly did you put it? So you can say we are doing different levels of check just to ensure that customers' funds, clients' funds are being preserved well. And it's also liquid. You can, withdraw if you need to, make withdrawals. You get it under 24 hours. And also there's risk-adjusted return at the end of the day. So I will proceed to do a live demo. I don't know if Dr. Rashid has shared maybe like a referral link so that people can use that to sign in. Okay. So just a minute. So this is like a test account so that everybody can see what I am doing. Please let me know if you can see what I am doing. You can just put a like on.
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I am a new user and I come here to sign up. See, my name is basirat@carrywise.com. Just a +2 because it's a test account at the end of the day. And we'll send you a code to your email once you've signed up. Okay, yes, I've gotten my code now. 72504. I click on continue, and then I add my name, Basirat Adebi. I could just put a random number, but I need to make sure that it's a complete number. Okay. And then I just add my previous password. So I would see make my account halal. So if you want to read about it, halal accounts are great for Muslims who want only Sharia compliant investment and no interest on their savings. So I toggle it and then I click on create account. So because it's a test account, it's not a real account. I'm just using to demonstrate, so it's taking a bit of time. Normally, it's faster than this. Yeah. Just a minute for it to load. Okay, still loading. Apologies. Okay, I have another test account so that once that's up, I'll just navigate there. I think it's the network. Okay, so this is an account, created randomly, and just to show you how it works. So for the Naira fonts, okay, I think it's open now. Oh, thought it was. Okay. Anyways, okay, just a minute. So click on invest in halal funds. So you'd see here that there's Lotus Halal Fixed Income. All of the funds that I've talked about are all here. So what I'll do next is click on this fund. So there are details that shows about how you earn, like, because we're very big on transparency. It tells you what the fund is composed of. It has to cook, fixed income, and term deposits. So if you want to invest, click on invest now. And then you add the amount, say 5,000, and continue. So I also, there's this reinvest my dividends. I click on choose payment method. So if I want to do a transfer, I would say pay. Okay, I'll click on bank transfer. Yes. Okay. So it's going to give me a bank account number. There's a virtual account. So what I'll do is you can only transfer within 1 hour. I would copy the account number. I'll go to my bank and then, make the payments. Exactly. So you would notice that I said I wanted to invest 5,000, right? But then there's a charge of 75. So these are processing fees because when making payments, there's a payment gateway provider that allows that payment possible and fast. So they usually charge a transfer fee. So that's why it's that way. So I'll click on I have paid. And then, so once you have paid, you will see the money here. It increases immediately. And so you would also see your all-time performance. Will tell you how much returns you've made, you've earned, your deposits, withdrawals. And then if you want statement, you can also get your statement here. So that's how you invest on any of the mutual funds. So I'll also go to invest and I'll click on stocks, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, I've not, yes. Oh, okay. So there are a number of requirements such as your BVN, your NIN that you're supposed to add, which is not here right now. I wanted to show you the NGX breakdown that I had earlier. Okay, let me see if I can do it. Okay, so back to signing up. It has finished loading. So you will set up a PIN on the account. And this PIN is what only you would know. It's just another level of security on your account. Because when you're moving out money, you need to enter your PIN to continue your transactions. Network is a bit slow. Our apologies on this. Okay, just to see. Okay. Okay. Just a minute. Okay. So as a new user, what you will see is everything is empty. Your home, there's no money there. But once you started putting money, you see your money there. And then your portfolio would show your total. If you have savings, you see there. If you have investment, you see there stash. Okay, just to also explain what the savings here are. So like our lecturer mentioned earlier, if I want to save money, I'm saying, okay, I'm a student, I want to just start saving to have a laptop, for instance. I could just click on save and then I enter laptop and then I click on continue. And then I say, okay, since I'm a student, let me do 5,000. And I'll say I'm doing it every month, for instance, maybe 28th of every month. And then I want to do it for 3 months, 6 months, and the likes. So ideally, there's no return here. I think this is is interest free actually. So what this means is you're putting 5,000 every month for the next 6 months. And then you once you're good with it, you choose payment method, and then you make your first transfer to indicate, okay, I want to start doing this. Also, if you are saving for your rent, also you could just say, oh, okay, I'm saving for my rent, and since I'm a 9 to 5, I receive my salary every month. Okay, I would choose to save 100,000 every month, so that at the end of the year I would have 1.2 million ready for my rent. So around that is quite flexible and help you remain disciplined. So the interesting thing here is once you set up to make the payments and it's automated, we will debit you every month on that particular day that you've set. So that way you're able to hit your goal that you've set for yourself. So that's how the savings work currently. You can give it any name. If you also want to save with other people, maybe your husband, you can do that, or your wife, you can start a duo. You give it a name and say, okay, my partner, you send an email to your partner, and then the person will get the notification. Then you guys, the plan will be set up, so you can now start saving with your partner. Or you can also do it with a group of people, depends. And on the investment option, like I mentioned, you would see the Naira mutual funds. All of the halal funds are listed. So, I mentioned that some of them are more aggressive than the others. Okay, so I would explain some features here, just so that, when you see it, you won't be worried. So this is a text account, by the way. It's not the real thing you see on the app. So what this means, year-to-date returns, it means that if you had invested in ARM ethical fund in the beginning of the year, you put 100,000 and it has earned 78 to 22%. I don't think that's what it is currently. I think it's around 40%. It means that your 100,000 would have increased to 140,000. So this could be because it's a good year, equities markets are doing well, and then it's earning well. So it could be around that. Also, if there are losses, you would also see that, from the beginning of the year, this is how much I've lost. But what we always advise is long-term investing is the goal. Long-term investing is the goal. Unless, it's like short-term need. So you could create a savings plan for that option. Yes. Okay, yeah. So that's basically it. Are there any questions for me, please?
Okay, thank you. I was just about sending you a message. So thank you for that presentation. Yeah, I would just run through some of the questions we have. Some of them are directed towards our lecture and some towards you. But I would appreciate if you can be very quick about it because solar time is very close.
That's true.
Okay, so for those, Sanusi Abila, please, very, very brief. Sanusi Abila, you can unmute yourself now, very quickly.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Walaikum
Yes.
salam.
The first question is when the Ustaz was explaining about the investment, I just want to ask, can we say S&P 500 is a Sharia inclined investment? That is my first question. The second question go to
Thank you very much.
the second question is actually I've opened this Quarry-wise account since 2020, but I've never invest because most of all these I've never like save on it or invest on it. But right now, as she was explaining, I just credited my account with 5,000, but I'm yet to see it in my account. So that is just what I notice now. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sunji NG, please.
Thank you for the presentation. I was just going to ask, when she said the intent is to do long-term investment, how long is long-term?
Okay, thank you very, very much. Dr. Abdrazak, sir, kindly respond to the first question of Mr. Sanusi.
Okay. All right. I think the question asked about S&P 500, whether it is halal compliant. Is that the question?
Yes, S&P 500, if they are halal inclined.
S&P 500 is not considered a halal investment platform because nearly half of its companies doesn't meet modern Sharia compliance standard. So they are not halal Sharia compliant, so they are not halal investment opportunity.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Basharat, do you want to respond very quickly to the second question? The two questions, rather. How long is long term? And the person that said he credited 5,000 and is here to reflect on his account. Basharat, are you still there? Okay. While that is going on, I want to quickly check some of the other questions we have on the. So, okay, so somebody wants to know more about Sukuk investment. The person says, I would like to know about the Sukuk since we all know how government manages our fund and we believe government is not so trustworthy, I believe, to that extent. How do we say the fund end from Sukuk is halal money? That's the question, sir.
Let's respond now.
Yes, please, you can, sir.
Okay. Yeah, Sukuk investment. Sukuk is a Sharia compliant investment, and it's like a bond, but this is not conventional bond where a fixed income in form of interest is attached. In Sukuk, there is a special purpose vehicle that will be set up, or that is normally set up in form of, let's say, an organization. It may be a firm, a venture, an organization that will be set up to manage the fund of the Sukuk. That is, every investor that contributes, that subscribe to Sukuk, all the fund gathered will be handled by this special purpose vehicle. So this special purpose vehicle will serve as the owner of the fund for the period of this investment. Now, it is this SPV that signs the contract with the government, for example, on construction of road. So the fund will be taken from SPV to finance the construction, everything. So upon completion, it will be transferred to the government. But the agreement between this SPV and the government will be in form of a lease agreement. So that road construction, the asset that has been constructed, that is the asset under Sukuk, will now be transferred, let's say on lease basis, to the government. So the government will continue to settle the lease renter on this asset. It will be this lease renter will be paid to special vehicle purpose that this organization set up to manage this fund. So it is this lease renter that will now be distributed to those that subscribe to this Sukuk. So the rental income on the asset is Sharia compliant because it is not an interest. That is how.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, I was mute earlier. So I wanted to respond to the question around the funds that was transferred. Please reach out to. Okay, I'm going to drop my email so you can just send a screenshot because typically it's usually instant. Or while we're still on the call, you can refresh. But if you're still not reflecting, you can just send me a screenshot, and I'll take it up from there. Apologies. Okay. The second question, can you please remind me?
How long is long-term investment?
Oh, okay. Interesting. So long-term investing is, so the thing is, if you're investing, the primary goal is that I want to build wealth. I am not keeping the money because, I want to use it, on Saturday. I want to use it during festive period. That's when I want to spend all my money. So the idea is I am building wealth over time. I'm not building wealth because I want to, liquidate my investment anytime. However, if there are like unforeseen circumstances that happen and then you need to liquidate, it's fine. So what I mean by, you just, give yourself, let's start, because you're new, you could start with a year, 2 years, 3 years. So because why I'm saying that is because you need to be patient, especially when you're investing in a volatile instrument, maybe stocks, for instance, and then you buy stocks today of a halal certificated company, and then you come back tomorrow and you see, oh, why is there a drop? However, if you see that company trend over time, you would have seen in the last 1 year, this was the gain. This was a profit. In the last 2 years, this was a profit. So if you had, invested during that at that time 2 years ago, you would have seen that, okay, oh wow, I'm earning good returns, and then you get paid dividends. So pace yourself depending on what you need the funds for. So if you need the funds in the short term, you can just invest in a less conservative, maybe like a savings, and say, okay, since I need this money in the next 3 months, let me put it in savings. I am contributing for something. But if you want to build wealth and you're investing, just give yourself 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, like that.
All right. Thank you very much. I want you to please answer these 2 questions very briefly too, because you have to wrap up because of Salah. The first one is, how much does Cowrywise charge on returns? Second, somebody is asking, please, do you mean we don't need any paper documentation, since I believe this portal is only based on tier 1 accounts?
Okay, so number one, you don't need documentation, like physical documentation. If you notice on the app, what I did was to provide my email address, my phone number, and then my name. Then what you also need, because for every bank, you're linking to make payments, you need to add your bank verification number, which is your BVN. And you also add your NIN, because you need that to create like a CSCS account for, trading of stocks. So it's just your details that you need to provide for that. And then, we'll take it up from there. Sorry, the previous question, I'm not sure I remember.
The amounts being charged on returns.
The amount being charged. So what we currently only charge is processing fee. So if you have it's capped at 250 naira, regardless, because we already have like a partnership with a number of payment gateways. So if you're doing transfers to your wallet on Cowrywise, you would see that, oh, I'm investing, 10,000, I'll only be charged 250. And if you refer a friend, we're going to waive that 250 naira for you. So the more you refer, the more, waiver fee you get. So yeah, that's pretty much. Although for professionally managing the funds, each fund manager usually have a percentage charge, which is administrative fee, but that has already been removed from the return that you're getting. So it's quite minor, maybe at 1% of the total fund that they are managing, not just on yours.
All right, thank you very much. Last question I'm going to take. Somebody is asking if there are dollar-based ethical portfolio.
Yes, there are, but they're quite scarce. I'm not going to lie. So we currently don't have that right now on the app. But if you reach out to us, we could, liaise with other partners to fetch available dollar investments, ethical investment for you.
All right. Thank you very much. At this point, I want to thank our resource person, Dr. Abdulrazak. Thank you very much for that well put together lecture. And to Basirat from Cowrywise, thank you also for that presentation. To everybody on the call, thank you for joining. The core thing we have to take away from here is that there's a need for us to start being intentional about the lessons we've learned today. To start our journey with Cowrywise, we've been sending the link that we can use to sign up. It's also be sent to the community. It also be shared to us via email for those of us that register for this webinar. Until the next time when we come your way again, we pray to Allah to make our life, financial life, easier. And of course, at the end of the day, grant us al-Jannat Firdaus. وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Thank you so much. All right. Bye.